Welcome again to Sporting Chance. This is the sports quiz that challenges the parts others cannot reach. And if you at home can keep up with the experts we have in the studio, then you really do know your sport. So let me introduce the two teams who meet in this, the fifth match in our opening round. The Rose Inn from Wallsend have managed 3 different names in the 4 years since they were formed, but they have been consistent in their success as they quickly climbed into the Tyneside League's top division. Kevin Spencer works in the sales department of Newcastle's evening newspaper. He's a United fanatic, but will happily watch any sport. Next to him is Barry Wilkinson. He's a careers officer, keen jogger, squash player, as well as another St James's Park diehard. Athletics too is a major interest. So he'll be pleased that the sporting guest for the Rose is one of our golden girls of athletics. It's Kirsty McDermott, Commonwealth Games champion over 800 metres, who we're delighted to say has now moved to live on Tyneside. And finally, the Rose have a new signing in the lineup because Ray Nicholson was a member of the 83 champions Mile House before being snapped up by the Rose. Ray's a student and Newcastle daft. The board in from Birtley are new to Sporting Chance this year. In fact, this is their first year together, though they've already won their division of the Tyneside League. Lenny Loughlin is a university technician. In his distant youth, he played as a schoolboy with Sheffield United, but these days is almost as interested in American football. Leo Ford is a teacher who, when not organising all the sport at his own school, is a keen follower of local cricket. Birtley's guest is a County Durham man whose progress has attracted enormous local interest. He's heavyweight boxer Glenn McCrory, still unbeaten since turning to the professional fight game. Finally, we meet John Hayes. He's a student at Durham University and supports what he claims is the only team in Britain, Manchester United. So they are the two teams tonight, and they get off the mark with an opening round of quickfire general knowledge questions to test their general sporting knowledge. A correct answer wins them 2 points. Over what distance is the Lincoln Run? Ray Nicholson. 1 mile. Correct, 2 points. James Hunt won his first Grand Prix in a Hesketh. Ray Nicholson. 1976. Wasn't. I'll give the full question to the board. First Grand Prix in a Hesketh in 75. Hesketh's one and only Grand Prix success. Which Grand Prix? Anyone on the board in? John Hayes?
Dutch.
It was the Dutch Grand Prix. Zandvoort, correct. Who was the last man to beat Bjorn Borg in the men's singles at Wimbledon before McEnroe? Ray Nicholson.
Howard Trash.
No, it wasn't board in. Anyone? John Hayes?
Arthur Ashe.
Arthur Ashe in 75, correct. With what sport would you associate Carolina cherry, flowering crabapple and yellow jasmine? John Hayes again.
Golf.
Correct. Their names are the 9th, 4th and 8th holes at the Augusta, Georgia course. Well, we try to vary the questions as much as possible, so now we've some sporting action for our teams to look at, and something, I think you could say, rather different this time.
Great stuff again here. And he really shouldn't... Oh, they're both on the table. I don't think you've ever seen this before.
It's forbidden to stand up on the table. Forbidden to sit down at the table.
I said it was different. Anyway, can you name 2 of France's best-loved stars? Barry Wilkinson.
Jacques Secretan.
Absolutely correct. Jacques Secretan and Vincent Pourcart, who do a sort of Harlem Globetrotters act in table tennis, and that was at an exhibition in London earlier this year. So 2 points there. That's the end of our opening round. Let's look at the scoreboard. And it's the board in Birtley who've just gone into the lead. Not by a lot, though. They've got 6 points. The Rose from Wallsend have 4. Well, our 2 guests have undoubtedly proved they've got what it takes to take them to the top in their sport. But here on Sporting Chance, we put them to a rather different test. In this, their own round, each guest watches an incident from their own sport. Then there's the minor details of the 3 questions to answer. For the Rose, we have Kirsty McDermott. And here, of course, a famous athletics race for you to watch, Kirsty. And I'm sure you'll remember this one. Powerful run indeed. Can you simply tell me who won the race?
Jarmila Kratochvilova.
That's right, Jarmila Kratochvilova. It's a test of pronunciation more than recognition, I think. Women's 800 metres final, the 83 World Championships in Helsinki, 1:54.68. And that was just 35 minutes after winning her 400 semi-final. But how many medals did Ms. Kratochvilova win in all in those championships?
3.
That's right, 3. She also won the 400 metres and ran an amazing leg to help the Czechs to a silver in the 4x400. Of course, Kratochvilova was unable to add Olympic gold to her haul because of the Eastern Bloc's boycott of the Los Angeles Games. Who did win the 800 metres in Los Angeles?
Doina Malinta.
The Romanian Doina Malinta, a 1:57.6 her winning time. Full marks there for Kirsty McDermott, and of course it was Lorraine Baker, you may remember, finished the highest placed Briton out there. So good standard set by Kirsty there. It's up to Glenn now, because the boarding's guest is Glenn McCrory, and we've dug out some heavyweight boxing for you to look at. Have a look at this, Glenn. Two big men there, Glenn. Can you name the two fighters?
Larry Holmes and Randolph Tex Cobb.
That's right, of the USA fighting for the WBC heavyweight title. Holmes' defence immediately before that fight was against another white challenger and became one of the richest fights in the sport's history. Grossed an estimated $50 million. Can you remember who that was against?
Jerry Cooney.
Jerry Cooney, the Irish-American, stopped by Holmes in the 13th in Las Vegas. $50 million. Wouldn't mind that one, I should think. Just days after that Holmes-Cobb fight, Mike Weaver sensationally lost his WBA version of the title when he was controversially stopped just 63 seconds into the first round of a title fight in Las Vegas. Who by that time?
Michael Dokes.
Michael Dokes, indeed. We're making these questions too easy for the sportsmen, I think, and sports ladies. Maximum points there for Glenn McCrory, and they certainly must have helped their teams along. Look at the old scoreboard, should confirm that. And it's the Rose 10 points, the board in Berkeley just 2 points ahead still. They've got 12.